Hi everyone, and welcome to another PvP post-commentary episode. In this episode I'm playing with my... well, to be honest, I don't even know what the hell is going on with this build. This is an old build of mine, and I just decided to use it on a whim. It's kind of a pyro, lightning, Spitfire Spear hybrid or something, I don't even know, don't ask me guys. But it was fun nevertheless. So here we have our first fight, and I really dig how this build looks, I must say. It looks so funny. It's almost like it's having an umbrella in the hand or something, or that's at least how I picture it. But yeah, this build, it's kind of a mess, but it's a good kind of mess. It has the force, it has some pyro, it has the Spitfire Spear, and the combination of those three things, did I say force? I think I said force. Well, yeah, anyways, it has the force, so I can pull out the tactical force every now and then and things like that. As you guys know, the spear plus force combo is very, very powerful, and I use it on several occasions in this episode. So, I'm, just a heads up, I'm going to spend this whole episode in one place, that is the Cardinal Tower. It was very active when I tested this build out, and yeah. This episode is not going to be that long, half an hour, I guess. So I didn't stay there for that long. This is not like I just wanted to goof around with this build because it's nothing like serious. This is not a serious build. It's not completely hopeless, of course not. As you can see, I'm still handling myself with it. Not like all the builds I have tried, believe me. I get my ass handed to me with some builds like left and right because they are so unusable. But this is not one of those. This is just not that great sort of thing. So here we are in the middle of the gank. And once I said before, these were probably just co-oping these guys, but I still call them gankers because that's what they are doing to me after I invade. And in this invasion you are going to see how unfamiliar I am still with my PS4 D-pad. I'm almost completely adapted to the new controller, which I use on PC too now, by the way. But the D-pad, I just cannot find it under pressure. When I'm under heavy pressure like this, when two enemies are up my ass, I just cannot control my D-pad at all. I'm learning it slowly, steady, but it's still kinda... it's so deep into my muscle memory that the D-pad is in different location of the controller, because I'm so used to the Xbox controller, and here I just spend most of this fight just running away and stabbing at the enemies, because I cannot like I would like to do some swapping in there. I think here in the end I just lose completely. Just look at that. I don't even have my weapon out. I have my talisman out and my pyro at the same time. I'm just trying to get out of there, and I don't know what I was doing, but I just lost track of my D-pad completely under pressure, and there I go. So here I found this guy doing I don't know what in the corner, but I don't want to take no cheap shots on him, and it turns out that this guy is actually a fat roller. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to backstab this guy. At first I was like, I'm not going to do it. It's just too much. It's too easy to backstab fat rollers. It is just too cheesy. And I tried to like get something going in here, just get a kind of a good fight out of this, but it's not just... it doesn't give me too much of anything. He rolls away like a snail in there. So eventually I just decided to backstab him anyways, because I wanted to move on to next fight here. So here we have a dragon guy I summoned. I always summon these signs that I see while I'm doing these sessions. And I think in this fight I used the best quality of this weapon in my opinion, which are the cancels. Because they are very visual. People, even with the slow reaction time, even those players, like, they react to the flame coming out of something. They either expect a like combustion or something, but once they see that flame on their screen, they are like, oh, danger, danger, even though it's just a cancel. It's just cancelling out the special attack of the Spitfire Spear, which is the fireball, which I don't think I use on this session at all. I did some experiments with it back in the days, and there he goes. I did some experiments with the R2 back in the days. I don't know if it's any better now, but back then it was... I tried to use it after the parry for a cool effect, kinda, but it didn't really work out. I don't know, it didn't even hit the host. It didn't even hit the host when the host was on ground after the parry, and I don't know, it's kinda useless. It sometimes catches people on their rolls, if they roll directly backwards, but that's about it. It uses a lot of durability also, so I usually just use it for cancels. So yeah, I have a little bit hard time against this guy. Obviously, he cannot be parried on normal attacks, he cannot be backstabbed either, and he kinda out damages me in here. So yeah, sorry about the little bit spoiler, but I'm not able to take the victory out of this one. My damage is just not cutting it. And I kind of played stupidly on that like beginning of the fight. It kind of cost me this, because at this moment there's so much difference in our HP at the moment that I kinda got a little bit wrecked in here. Now he gets out the warped sword, and I'm like, this point, okay, I have already lost this lost this freaking fight. Maybe I'm just too used to backstabbing slow weapon users, and I gotta feel bad about it, but yeah, that's what I usually do. Especially if they're two-handing, I kinda like to use my counter backstab tactics, but yeah. There I go again. Okay, I can... oh yeah, this was one of those guys that obviously do not want to fight you. And I just took all the excitement out of it that I just could. I tried to force him down when he was running away. And yeah, this is one of the PvE guys, to be honest. And it's to be expected that not all of them actually want to be in PvP situation. But yeah, this guy tries to run away from me. At least he tries his best. But he doesn't really succeed in it too well. Because he gets constantly backstabbed. And sorry, my preview lagged there for me a little bit, so I didn't see what's going on in my own fight. But yeah, there it ends in very humiliating way. It just rolls off the edge, and there goes the Alex. So here we have a little bit more competitive looking build. A lot of armor, fast offhand weapon, and a large damage hitter on the main hand. So let's see how this guy is doing. On some of these instances, I'm just wondering, and there I just actually tried to use the R2 for if he would have rolled back, but he didn't. I get kind of tempted in this fight. I was like, huh, he was using a couple of those rolling attacks, wouldn't he? And as you know, rolling attacks are one of the easiest things to parry with just about any weapon. So I was like, in the end here, I kind of sensed that this victory is already mine. I was like, maybe I can get some candy to finish this off, but I go into some rolling parries and him, he didn't go for the parry after all. And that is kind of one of the things I want to like emphasize on all the players, the first parry you throw into a fight is the most valuable one. After that, your cover is blown. After you show that you are going to parry, the opponent will, if they are smart, they will take safety measures against that. So that's why I don't throw that many parries anymore. I do not throw them more. I throw them when I know I can get them. And even then I don't get them 100% of the time. No one gets. But I aim that when I parry, I freaking nail that parry. I don't go for those lucky parries anymore. I'm moving away from it more and more. I want it, when I use the parry, I want it to freaking land. And that is something I want to emphasize, because nothing is more retarded looking than you throwing like 20 parries in a fight and then landing it. In my opinion, like it's just it looks stupid. It makes you look stupid, in my opinion. Someone might differ, but I don't prefer like throwing them out randomly and it might connect sometime. No, not my thing. But yeah, back to the fight. We have this dragon guy again with katana. And this time it's very nice to see that this guy actually learned from his mistakes in the last fight. And he uses my cancels against me. And that is very smart play from him. He doesn't go for these cancels. I even do a double cancel here, I think. There, and another, and a triple cancel. And he still doesn't take the bait. He waits it patiently to punish me there. But then I stopped my canceling game in there and just rely on some pass step tactics and things like this. Kind of mixed up a little bit. I don't like to stay on like same kind of style of playing if it doesn't work. I kind of like to switch around my tactics if I see that something clearly doesn't work. And yeah. This guy, oh boy. Some enemies or some opponents really don't want to fight you, but this guy is on a whole nother level. He did buff his weapon at the beginning of the fight, but I really don't know what his deal is. He is hiding behind the pillars. Is he actually like hoping that this will end if he just hides? And this goes on for so long time that I just had to speed this up. I usually don't do these speed ups in this PvP talk episodes, but this just wow, like wow. I mean, it's totally valid option if you want to deal with invaders like this. Well, go ahead, but you're going to get killed eventually. If you're not even going to try to attack me, this is not going to help you. It's not going to work. Well, maybe he was a new player or something, or very, very like negative about PvP in this game. But he doesn't even try to attack me. Not even once, I think. I don't think he even tried to attack me once in this whole fight, if you can even call it that. I just chase him down and poke him with the R1s because that's what's going on in here. It's just what can I say? What can I say? And here we have someone dual wielding. I don't exactly know what. I think Varangian swords, which is kinda. It's kind of dangerous combo, but for some reason it doesn't really pay off for him too well. I think I was too far from him when he was landing his hits to actually deal that full damage, and there you see a rarity. Me using a combustion. I have it on my arsenal, but I never freaking use it. Okay, this fight I would say is one of the two fights really worth mentioning in this session. To be honest, I think this is one of the really good fights during this whole session. This is against Goga. I have actually faced this guy before a couple of times, and all of those fights have been really good. This guy really knows what he's doing, and he's very a worthy opponent in here. players that play Coot are like my dream opponents when I'm using a build like this that I kind of struggle to begin with. So if I am able to like win these fights, I'm all the more happy about it, because this is not like my everyday build. I don't know my shit with this build too well. So I'm like really glad I was able to put up a challenge on Goga here, because I know he can play. He's not someone to push around, definitely not. But I'm still doing a good job in here. I think I pulled this fight pretty nicely off. But as usually as my best fights, I lost that one. Even though that last hit was pretty odd looking, but he played very well and that shouldn't be an issue. That kind of shit just happens. But yeah, really good fight. One of the two of the best fights in this session of mine. And on this PvP Talk episode, it seems that, as I mentioned in the first episode, the fights that I usually lose are the best ones. At least some of them. Of course I lose like stupid shit like, well, this fight over here. But it's not all about... I get a little bit ganked in the end of this episode, and the host... this fight? Sorry guys. But the host heals here and he gets some help from the blue phantom in the end. But I also do some stupid things in this fight. Oh my god, I get hit by so obvious attacks. But sometimes the most obvious thing is the best counter, because I kinda expect more from the players. I don't expect them to just start spamming R1 when I get to their face anymore, but you still find these players, and that is the most deceiving thing, that you can still find them. And here comes the saving grace blue phantom and kills me in the end there. But yeah, you cannot like put all of your losses on like some OP setup of your opponents, or the fact that you get ganked. Sometimes you just play fucking bad. You make wrong decisions, and I just do them sometimes. And that was one of those fights that nothing I kinda expected him to do worked out for me, and yeah, I can only blame myself for losing the fight. Okay, here's another, like, a full caster build. And I have talked about this before. It's, like, I understand why it always goes like this against full casters, because they don't have too many options when it comes to attacking. They have to back away constantly and start casting at you. But from my build's point of view, these are not the most interesting fights to be had. It's just a fact, it's just a natural course of things when two of these kind of builds meet. You just end up chasing them down. You just chase them and they run away from you and cast, and it just ends up one of their casting hitting you, or you just succeeding in your chasing methods, which is usually just the running attack and R1s, because that is the only thing you can reliably pull off when you're chasing someone. If you don't have a magic shield or something like that, then it might be a little bit more interesting, but I really usually don't block spells. I don't know why, but I usually don't do that. Maybe it's my own fault that all of these pure mage fights usually turn to shit. I have fought a couple of very good mages that made it interesting, but those are very few and far between for me. Okay, here we have one of these guys that I don't know if they have too much plan. Like, I don't want to be rude or anything, of course. With rapiers, there is only so much things you can do. And with spears as well, as you see, I'm using the spear myself, but I don't know, it's just one of the things I really don't like fighting too much. On the last episode when I used longsword, a lot of people were saying that that is one of the easiest and the most boring things to use, but Yeah, I can get that. Long swords or straight swords in general are not the like hardest weapons to use. I'm not saying that. They are definitely up there on the most flexible weapons. But, oh man, these rapiers, god damn, they are a little bit boring, I must say. Like, if there is nothing else going around than that poking, it's just, I don't know. They are challenging, I can say. On right hands they can be very, very challenging. I'm not saying that they don't cause any trouble because they're so, like, simple weapons. No, definitely not, but I don't know, not my cup of tea. I really like to actually fight straight swords. That's one of the things. I like to use straight swords and I like to fight them. That is not my nemesis weapon at all. So here we have someone with a Pepsodent stick. I heard someone calling this a Pepsodent buff, and it's quite fitting, I must say. I couldn't remember who the fuck was that, but it was on Dark Souls 1 day. Someone called this a Pepsodent buff, and it's very fitting to the color. And here I just see this guy is way too predictable, and even though I was like, oh, I'm not going to parry too much on this episode, but I just had to take that one. That was too easy. That was too easy. Too sure. And there he goes down. So here someone tries to surprise me with the buffed dagger from behind the corner. This is one of these, I usually got 1 or 2 of these fights in a session that leaves a bad taste in my mouth because nothing really happens, but I still lost the fight. And this is one of these. It's just, wow, that damage. I obviously don't have any poise on this character, so even the dagger will stun me instantly, and he can just get away with spamming R1, and usually that doesn't really work against me. But unfortunately there are these days and these fights that sometimes it just does. And yeah, it kind of leaves a taste in your mouth. Well, he healed in here. I would have finished him off without healing, but in random invasions you gotta be ready for those heals. But I really don't trust my Lloyds anymore. I just don't. And there I go down. I would really wish that they would fix Lloyd's Talisman. That would be very, very nice from software. If you could just please do that. Please, please. But yeah, I don't know what this guy's deal is. He doesn't have his full health, even though he's a summoned dragon guy. And yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird guy. And not too much to say about this fight either. Nothing really interesting happens on either of the sides of this fight. So yeah, sorry guys, this commentary today is a bit weird, to be honest. These fights are nothing too spectacular. There are 2 very good fights in this episode, in my opinion. But that's about it. It's just basic stuff. Maybe it's kinda related to the location I'm invading at. I think I got a lot of PvE guys in the end, or yeah. So here I have someone just poking from behind the shield with the Spitfire Spear. And yeah, there was a little explosion, which I don't know what caused that. Was it the firebomb guy on the upper side? I don't know. But here I see he's trying to go to heal, I presume. Shield up, backing away, and I was like, I can chip this guy because I have a multi-damage type weapon, so let's just chip him to death. Oh, pretty anticlimactic, but yeah. Okay, here we have our last fight of the day against Hell, and he's using the I think this is the Black Steel Katana. And this is one of the 2 fights that are actually good in this episode. I really like this fight. he does some cancels. I really enjoy people doing a lot of cancels. I don't know what it is, but it's just, I think it brings a lot of depth into fights when people use cancels. And he actually said after this fight, he contacted me on Steam and said that he decided to use it after Praise the Sun featured this weapon on one of his episodes. By the way, a little shout out to Praise the Sun here. Excellent channel, excellent PvP channel. I haven't had the chance to check too much out of his stuff, but his channel is growing up so fast. Good for him. He does probably the best like weapon guides at the moment in YouTube. So definitely check out Praise the Sun. I will put the link in the description after this video. Check out his channel. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't heard about that guy yet. But yeah, Hell here is using the Black Steel Katana, and pretty well, I must say. He does his cancels on right times, and I just cannot deal enough damage to him for the life of me. And on the usual fashion, as these things tend to go, I lose the best fights of the evening. And that's the last fight of today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.